Okay, thank you for joining me, my beautiful subscribers. And what we know that is coming from the court case of Nnamdi Kanu is nothing but heartbreaking, heartbreaking, and heart-shaking. Showore earlier today tweeted that Nnamdi Kanu's case has been long decided by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and, of course, some top northern political linguists that Nnamdi Kanu might be condemned permanently to life imprisonment, or in fact, it might be condemned to that penalty. You see, it is clear that every revolutionary, if you are not in prison, if you are not in exile, then you will, of course, be in the afterlife. At this stage and time, we all understand that Nnamdi Kanu is nothing but an hero, a martyr, and I pray and I hope that it doesn't go down the way the Nigerian government wishes him to do. At this stage, we pray that Donald Trump, the USA, and all international, media's, human rights advocates intervene in this matter, because the hypocrisy, the inequality, the imbalance that has been going on in Nigeria for many years should not, end on Nnamdi Kanu. If the terrorists in the north can get all manners of pardon, in most cases they even get what we call seed capital to start a new life, then why shouldn't a person like Nnamdi Kanu be given a second chance? We understand the Nigerian government said he should open its defense, but he said it will not. In fact, his lawyers have given so many reasons why they said Nnamdi Kanu will not open his defense, because he knows that there's absolutely nothing he can do in the court in Nigeria that he will be able to defeat them if, of course, he's not ready to compromise or buy his way out of the mess. So he said he would not. Justice Omosoto at this stage and time will have uh, maybe the blood of someone on her palms if Nnamdi Kanu gets the capital punishment. What are the offenses of Nnamdi Kanu? Let us take a look at it. First and foremost, Nnamdi Kanu said the Northern Fulani oligarchs want to overrun the country. That is offense. That the Fulani militias want to Islamize the country. Now, that is nothing but the truth. I tried to check what is fallacious about that statement. I have tried to take a look at it decisively with keen interest and attention. I did not see one iota of lies. Because today we have the issue of Christian genocide being globally spoken about. We have a situation whereby the United States of America, the most powerful nation in the world, is alleging Nigerian government for being complicit over the Christian genocide. Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu spoke about this as way back as 2016, 2017. The very first time he said it was picked, then it was released again. Then again, when he started his campaigns, yes, I must agree that there are some, preachers of Nnamdi Kanu that he went overboard, because he overreacted, most especially when his mother died. He said some things that we might say, okay, these things are kind of too overreaching. However, we have not seen Nnamdi Kanu with a gun for a day. Not even a toy gun. Secondly, what did Nnamdi Kanu ask for? He said state police. Today, everybody in the south up to the middle belt are shouting for state police. The problem I have is it seems Nnamdi Kanu is way ahead of his time. That's it. When you are ahead of your time, people will see you as a madman. Yes. Because the wisdom, the understanding you have, the exposure that you have, the intelligence that you have, people will begin to see you like you are out of this world, you're out of your senses. We have seen how so many people, most especially when we were still in the dark ages, when the Catholic were still in charge of so many things such as the medicinal solutions, how they called scientists witches and wizards. So many scientists in the past have been hanged on the stake, burnt alive. Why? Because they were just exceptionally brilliant. They were genius, but there was no explanation for it. When Nnamdi Kanu was saying these things, most of us, I as at 2016, when I used to hear that, I used to say, what is this man saying? Which one is... Well, here we are. The reality has dawned on us. Now we agree that there is indeed some people who want to take over other people's land. Hence, we need a state police. But yet, this is the person that has been given 24 hours to decide his fate. Do you want to live or die? Dump the Biafran agitation or die. But I know Nnamdi Kanu wants to die as a martyr. A person that got killed because of his conviction. Someone like the prophet that we've all known about, the biblical prophets. There are so many revolutionaries out there who have been able to lay their life down because of their conviction. I dare say because Nnamdi Kanu is incorruptible, this is why he will not be able to exist in a contraption named Nigeria. You have to be able to walk side by side with the corrupt element for you to be, maybe, have a life or stay alive in this country. We've seen how Peter Obi has been vilified. How so many people have called him liar, hypocrite. Because it is hard to believe that in Nigeria you are a man of integrity. That is it. So you see that this 24 hours ultimatum to live or die, Nnamdi Kanu. Because they know that for as long as Nnamdi Kanu case tarries, this issue of Donald Trump will continue to get intensified. So they want to permanently silence him. Yes. So that his case will not get once again escalated. But it is already too late. As way back as 2017, 2018, when this young man, I think 2017 if I'm not mistaken, when Donald Trump in his first term first became the president, that period, Nnamdi Kanu had a lobbyist, Mark Pompeo. Through that man, he was able to lobby some people in the United States. They submitted letters. As at then, they were talking about Christian genocides. So, if the Nigerian government makes the mistake of their life by unaliving, I'm telling you, a lot will unravel. A lot will unravel. I just use this medium to always call on Tinubu, do not be manipulated by the northern oligarchs. Don't allow them to use your head. Do not allow the northern oligarchs who have absolutely nothing. Because they have nothing, so they don't care if they lose everything. Tinubu can still save face, restructure the country. Yes, he can still do that. Return us back to our era of golden age, when we were structured in regions. This was the constitution of Lancaster that the colonial master handed over to us because they stayed with us for many years. They were in Nigeria for over a period of 50 to 100 years. They saw that Nigerians will best govern themselves according to ethnic-religious lines. And this is what Nigeria must return to. Because if we don't, Some tribe have taken it upon themselves to wipe the remaining people out. This is what they want to do. They are not stopping. They are hell bent on it. They will always come out and boast that they have the guns. They will always come out and boast that they have the finance. So to be forearmed is to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Tinubu must be very careful about the Nnamdi Kanu, because for me, I believe this Nnamdi case might be the final trigger that will scatter everything in Nigeria.
The perception that some people believe that because Kanu has committed some crimes, why should anybody fight for him? I'm going to answer it this way. You know Nelson Mandela?
Yes, sir.
He was regarded as a terrorist because he was fighting for the liberation of blacks in South Africa. In fact, Nelson Mandela's name was not removed as a terrorist until he became president of South Africa. That was when the US lifted the terrorism tag, granted him a visa, and he traveled across the world. And one of the things he said when he was visiting the US, same question was asked of him. Why is it that as a person with freedom loving, you are supporting Cuba? Which the person said, that's a human rights violating regime, referring to Fidel Castro. He said to them, sometimes the problem with you people is that you want to choose our friends for us and you want to choose your enemies for us. That is basically what's happening in your MBA group. Some people are trying to choose your enemies for you. But the question you should ask yourself is, what is Nnamdi Kanu fighting for? Self-determination. It came out several years ago that the Igbos are tired of being treated like slaves in the country. And he wants the former Biafran region to break away as a nation state. The constitution is very clear. You can agitate for self-determination. But we don't have the position of referendum in our constitution. He started peacefully. He was going from village to village. In fact, he didn't go from village to village. He was on a radio. His only weapon was a microphone. Guess what? When he was arrested the first time, what they found on him was a microphone, not a gun. They found with Mandela a pistol. Well, with Nnamdi Kanu, they found a microphone. In fact, when they were asked to present evidence, even in the ongoing case, the evidence presented is that microphone, his underwear, top and bottom, and some of his writings. No element of terrorism was established in court. Nobody has testified that they saw him buying guns or ordering guns or ordering. They brought to court different kinds of audio messages, which was his response to when police was killing his people. When I was at Sahara Reporters, I had in my possession a video which I published at that time. I don't know if Facebook has taken. As the Nigerian army went to where IPOB people were peacefully gathering and shot them dead live. 2014, I think. They killed them right there. This was captured on tape. It was provided by Amnesty International to me. So who committed the crimes? Is it the person who started peacefully or the government who said so? But like I started this with, this was the goal, But the simplest question a lawyer asks when you go to court is evidence, right?
Yes, sir.
If somebody is brought before a court on terrorism charges, and we have not been able to prove it in 4 years, there's something wrong with that process. Meanwhile, Simon Ekpa was arrested maybe last year. He has been convicted within 6 months in Finland. He may not have been as guilty as it, but he has the process of appeal. The trial was speedy, open, and in my own view, fair. What happens to Nnamdi Kanu? You just keep defending, detaining him. Even when the Court of Appeal said that he's discharged and acquitted and wrote that he should be released forthwith, you refuse to honor that court order. And you are going into MBA groups to say, why is anybody fighting? You are taking extra legal steps to violate the right of a campaigner for self-determination. We are taking extra legal steps to force your hand to respect his rights. That is the reason for my protest. And who is in a better position to know a sham trial if it's not Showore? I've been subjected to as many as 10 of those foolish trials. I have about 3 now pending. And they are going to end up in nothing. That's why since 1992, I don't write statements in police station. They sit me down, we are reading your rights to you, because I know we are not going to trial, for which my statement will be needed. And if I'm going to trial, my statement will not count if you have made up your mind that I'm guilty as charged. So tell your NBA friends that first and foremost, we are disappointed in them. They are not even represented in court to observe the trial. The same way they did to me in 2019. The NBA cannot, the American Bar Association sends representative to all my court trials. The Nigerian Bar Association is not in court, even as a friend of the court. You should be there standing up and say, my Lord, can we guide you? This is what the law says. The judge can say, shut up. But you are there. You go to your WhatsApp groups, and you know what they do? They then divide it into Yoruba, the people that are most vocal on Nnamdi Kanu, which riles me out, these Yoruba pseudo intellectuals. He has committed, will be sending me videos. And I tell them, I say, if you are tired of Nigeria, if Tinubu was tired of Nigeria 20 years ago and he granted an interview that Nigeria should disintegrate, why should you stop others who understand the same right? To be clear, I don't want Nigeria to break up. I'm a Pan-Africanist.